Alright, I hope everyone had a great time with their family this past week. I know I've been extremely busy and needed a couple weeks to regroup, but before we start with this video, I want to let everyone know that I will be joined by Monty Plaisance again, this time to discuss his upcoming Kickstarter for the re-release of his book Scrolls Manetho. So keep watch for that, it's going to be good. If you don't know who Monty is or would like to know more about him, I will put our first video together up on the screen here. But now, as always, there is an Echoes from the Temple Discord that is available to everyone, and you can find that invite link in my link tree down in the description. So now, let us get into this video with Chapter 18 of On the Gods in the World, and discussing why impiety should not disturb those who uphold virtue, why divine honors do not benefit the gods, and that due to the human soul being of a mixed nature, is not at all times inclined to that of righteousness, how the world experiences the providence of the gods unevenly, that the festivals were created with both auspicious and inauspicious days to emphasize human limitations, and the importance of purification, how impiety is viewed as a form of punishment, as those who disrespect or misunderstand the gods may be denied their knowledge in future lives, and those who deify rulers wrongfully face divine separation. So when we discuss impiety, it may appear to spread wildly throughout certain regions. It's believed that Celestius was referring to Christians at this point due to the current events during that time period. He also stated that it will likely persist in the future, which it has, but I do truly believe that it is starting to fade away, finally. Regardless, the impiety of others should not disturb those who are or have cultivated virtue. I suppose it may benefit here to also define impiety, which in this context is the disregard or the rejection of religious reverence, respect, and morality. Impiety does not in any way diminish the essence of the gods. The virtuous understand that the worthiness or honors that are paid to the gods has no effect upon their nature, since the gods are divine beings and completely self-sufficient, meaning they are not enhanced or diminished by mortal reverence. I truly cannot tell you how often I hear otherwise, which absolutely makes no sense to me. However, instead, the practice of religious reverence and moral discipline benefits the soul of the practitioner, as it helps to strive for virtue and alignment with the divine. Therefore, the presence of impiety in our world is a human failing and reflects our own imperfections rather than affecting the gods. Due to the human soul and its unique middle nature of being between the mortal and divine realms, it is not always able to consistently pursue the correct path, as the soul exists within the confines of the material world and that of the human experience, which brings about limitations and possibilities. This middle nature implies that while the soul attempts to reach higher truths, it is also able to be distracted. The influences of the material can oftentimes cloud judgment and make it difficult for the soul to maintain its alignment with virtue. The idea that the soul is fallible means that not all individuals or societies will be able to maintain ethical conduct due to material influences that pull and tempt it from its higher pursuits. Just as the providence of the gods is not evenly or equally distributed throughout the world, if we look at different regions on our planet, divine providence varies at different times at some parts of the world. And some people may be more attuned to divine guidance, while others may only experience this connection in far distant moments dictated by time and their own circumstances. This shows an uneven distribution, highlights a cosmic order in which divine influence, freedom, and the variability of our earthly conditions intersect and show how and when people as well as societies align themselves with the divine virtues. Therefore, the difference in moral conduct and the religious reverence across all of humanity is not surprising. It reflects the limitations of our natures and the selective manner in which divine providence operates. Therefore, the wise individual should not be disturbed by the presence of the impiety in our world, and recognize that it is merely an aspect of the human condition in which we all suffer from, and instead focus on their personal virtue and alignment with the divine order. Within the natural order, specific beings and elements possess more of a direct connection to the divine, as others experience it in a lesser capacity. This difference can be compared to the way the head, as the primary organ of perception, is able to integrate the other senses, while the rest of the body relies on the sense of touch alone. The ability of the head to synthesize the various sensory perceptions gives it a higher degree of awareness when compared to the rest of the body, which lacks the perceptive faculties of that of the head. In the same manner, certain people or communities may have a heightened spiritual alignment when compared to others. This layered approach to perception found within the body is a mirror of the manner in which the divine influences is tiered across the various societies and communities. This uneven distribution of divine awareness also influences cultural and religious practices, as we see in the establishment of the auspicious and inauspicious days. The people who created the cycles of festivals and those of religious observations appear to understand that life itself consists of inherent oppositions, such as good and bad, light and dark, sacred and profane. Therefore, they designated specific days as auspicious, which are associated with celebration, renewal, and that of heightened connection to the divine. These days were intended to be utilized for rituals that honor the gods, cultivating virtue, and aligning individuals with their spiritual purpose, while on the other end of the spectrum, the inauspicious days were set to the side for acknowledging the darker and less harmonious aspects of our existence. These may involve concepts of restraint, reflection, and that of caution, as to recognize that not all days are suited for that of celebration or communion with the divine. This observance of days was utilized as a reminder of the dualities of life and encourages people to show respect to the ebb and flow of fate, and knowing that specific times call for contemplation or even reverence for the forces that lie outside of human control. The creation of the auspicious and inauspicious days invite a joyful participation, and the days, which are marked by somber reflection, indicate an understanding that life's rhythms are made up of balance. By structuring religious and cultural observances around this balance, the ancients acknowledged that divine influence is not evenly accessible at all times. While some days are charged with energies more conducive to connection with the divine powers, and others emphasize a need for humility and caution. This duality in celebration and observance serves the purpose beyond simple ritual alone, as it cultivates purpose beyond the sense of respect for the unknown aspects of existence and the wisdom of approaching both fortune and misfortune with a calmness of mind. In doing this, the festive and inauspicious days became expressions of cultural and cosmic principles of balance. This emphasized that while humanity may move toward alignment with the divine, it is also necessary to honor the limitations and cycles inherent to our mortal nature. On those auspicious days, specific elements of sacred rituals are knowingly left out, and certain symbols that are sacred may be hidden. These omissions reflect a certain recognition of the human condition, vulnerability, when in the face of divine power. When aspects of ritual are inherently obscured, it is an acknowledgement of the limitations and impossibilities of the human limitations for upholding divine standards. This practice suggests that there are moments in which humanity and all its imperfections must restrain from attempting full communion with the divine, and accept its position, which is incomplete and whose nature is developing, rather than capable of engaging with the sacred at all times. It is by simplifying specific rites, traditions provide us a necessary cleansing for human frailty, recognizing that divine grace sometimes requires humanity to approach with restraint, particularly on the days charged with somber or difficult energies. Furthermore, the omission of specific ritualistic ornaments acts as a way to deprive specific rites of their full splendor on inauspicious days. The redaction is intentional and acknowledges that humanity's connection to the divine is not solely a matter of formalism or external grandeur, but it is a relationship that requires internal readiness and sincerity. When we strip rituals of elaborate elements, these inauspicious observances remind us that genuine piety is found in the hearth with humility and sincerity, rather than in the beauty of ceremony. This stripping away reflects a humility that is appropriate to specific times, when humanity's frail nature must be addressed directly rather than concealed by ceremonial excess. The notion that impiety is a form of punishment underscores a deeper belief that there are consequences that are both seen and unseen. For disregarding or dishonoring the divine, those who have come to attain knowledge of the gods, yet they choose to reject them, are subject to a form of spiritual consequence. This consequence stems from the nature of divine justice, which, instead of retaliating out of anger, allows individuals to experience the separation they themselves have chosen. In the next lifetime, there is the belief that these individuals may face a deprivation of divine understanding, as they have previously chosen separation through their actions and attitudes. This punishment is not simply just a withdrawal of knowledge, but it signifies a disconnection from the light and wisdom that knowledge of the divine gives to us, resulting in a more limited spiritual experience and reduced capacity to access higher truths. Similarly, those that elevate mortal rulers or temporal powers to the status of a god may face a unique spiritual consequence. By misplacing their reverence toward those who are undeserving of divine honor, they distort the natural order and diminish their capacity for true worship. In honoring earthly leaders as gods, they misdirect their devotion and, as such, detach themselves from any authentic divine connection. This misguided reverence effectively shuts them off from true divinities and reinforces the idea that spiritual alignment with genuine divine principles is essential for lasting communion with the gods. The result of these actions is a separation from the divine realm, not only out of retribution for these actions, but as an outcome of misplaced worship. Therefore, the repercussions of impiety serves us as a reminder to the importance of sincere devotion and the spiritual cost of disregarding and misdirecting our reverence. So that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video as it helps the channel to grow. Now until next time, Salate.